Who was Rapido around the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez? Welcome back to Fog Racing. We are here with your practice recap. Now, technically, practice 2 ain't over, but there's an extra half an hour for the Pirelli tyre test of 2025. And quite frankly, that final half an hour doesn't actually matter. So, yeah, deal with it here. But George Russell, he was fastest in practice 1. He also stuck it in the wall in practice 2, but more on that later. In terms of practice 1, the main headlines is the fact that there was six, youngsters in the cars, whatever. You had Antonelli, Pat O'Ward. I guess you could throw Calapinto in there. You had Liam Lawson. You had the likes of Drogovic, Schwartzman, and Ollie Bierman. So that's a lot of drivers. It's actually a sickening though, right? Robert Schwartzman driving the Sauber is obviously from Israel, and see the amount of just libtards out there that are bashing this guy simply based off his nationality. Where if you flipped it to pretty much any other nationality on the earth, they would be the ones greeting about it, but here they are the ones greeting about him. So I hope Robert Schwartzman gets a good drive in F1 and shuts all these fannies up. Anyway, less about that and more about the racing, because Ollie Behrman and Alexander Albon hit each other. That may not sound like much drama, but of course, Ollie Behrman was in Charles Leclerc's Ferrari, and the light is running in terms of practice too. But in terms of any shocks, really, I mean, Pat O'Ward was doing 13th in the McLaren, and Andrea Kimi Antonelli was in 12th. Sergio Perez was 10th in his home Grand Prix. I don't know, man. You would feel like with Red Bull and how bad Perez is. Should Perez not go to them and be like, here, I want softs, I want low fuel runs, and I want to turn the wick up. I'm shite. I'm not going to lead any meaningful session. So how about I lead the practice sessions to send the fans home happy on a Friday? I mean, is that out the question? Probably. But into the top 10 we go. Bottas was 8th, which is a wee bit surprising. Ocon was 7th. Piastri 6th. Hulkenberg keeping up his fine form in 5th. Verstappen was 4th. Then you had Shinoda, who was 3rd. Carlos Sainz Jr., who was 2nd. And I don't know why I read its full name there, like it was a like it was a bloody piece of documentary. But George Russell, the only driver into the 17s. But again, I think it's weird from Ferrari, right, and McLaren. Why are Leclerc and Norris being dropped for like the reserve drivers? Especially Norris, considering the fact that he's a lot closer in the championship than Leclerc. To me, that doesn't make much sense. But anyway, that's what went ahead and done. But yeah, like I said at the start, this session was pretty much, the whole highlight of it was that crash. But George Russell, Mercedes, are they back? I think it's too early to say. But let's jump in to FP2, shall we? Where Max Verstappen only did 4 laps. Looks like a suspected issue there. Not exactly brilliant for him. George Russell crashed straight into the wall. Again, really poor considering how good practice 1 looked. Alexander Albon didn't even set a lap before the 2025 tyre test went underway. As for Aston Martin, they're looking a wee bit shite this weekend. Just seems to be the norm. Lando Norris below Perez in P9, Perez in P8. Bottas again up in 7th, so maybe here, Bottas likes a low grip track. Sochi here. Baku's kind of low grip, I guess. So I think it's no real surprise that Valtteri Bottas is, up there, but maybe 7th for that. Dustbin, man, is actually pretty high. A lot higher than what it should be. Yuki Tsunoda, though, he got 3rd in first practice. He's 3rd in second practice. Ferrari are currently in a 1-4. And what I think is key about Tsunoda is that he's a 10th off the fastest lap. It's not like he's 3rd, but, he's like 8 tenths off Sainz. So, tell you what, shocker uno, surprise. But what you've got to say about this is that I've honestly got no idea what is going to happen, because there is not much to say. Max Verstappen, engine out the window, disjointed session with the crashes. It kind of looks like Ferrari and McLaren are up there as we expected for Austin, but here, Yuki Tsunoda looking very, very good. But we'll have to see how it goes, guys, and that's where we're going to leave it. Mercedes, can they do something? I mean, Lewis Hamilton, what was he doing? I mean, he's 6th, which again, obviously, Antonelli was in for him in practice 1. But It's not that I don't mind youngsters getting in, but it just feels like a fit. And you know, when you factor that in with a tire test, it's just all over the place. Kind of like this review, but you know what? It's all over the place. And it's weird because you went for a sprint weekend last weekend to Friday being pretty much irrelevant. But Carlos Sainz on top, George Russell on top in P1. That's where we're going to leave it. And peace.